A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
One final time, it's good to be back here high atop Phoenix International Raceway. It is time for a new season of the MaxV CNC Home Designs Truck Series here on Turn 200. 20 more weeks to close it out the right way here on your home for Thursday night truck racing action. Hello, everybody. It's Tommy Cook and it's Joshua Motichek. 20 more weeks, partner. The first 20 went so well, we get to do it all again.
Yeah, no words for last season. Great battle for the championship. Glad to have the opportunity to be up here with you and watch all these drivers battle it out week after week. But super stoked that we're back with MaxV.
Making the transition from practice to qualifying, we've got 38 drivers who are set to go. We'll see if a couple more show up here in the next couple of minutes. We'll get you to the action here in qualifying in just a moment. Normally, this is where we show the points graphic, but as you and I were joking before we came on air, everybody's tied right now. This is the season opener. Even though there's only been 1 week since the last season, things are even keel right now. And, of course, you've always got the favorites that you're going to be looking for here, especially at a shorter track. That opens the door for a couple more drivers that we're used to seeing. But, we saw a whole host of drivers make their way into the season at the midpoint of 2025, season number 1, to race in the ARCA Series. They found their way to the Truck Series. It's a whole level playing field for a lot of drivers, whether they're new to the series or whether they have something they feel they need to prove from last season. This is the clean slate.
Yeah, super excited to see what some of those guys who joined mid-season could do. There's a couple notable ones. Nathan Carroll is one that pops out to me, who joined mid-season and put on several stellar performances, but mid-season wasn't able to be there for the points. So super excited to see how them as well as our class of rookies can shake up the points.
Certainly so. There are a lot of drivers. One driver that was technically a rookie last season out on track. It is one lap qualifying this season, and Dakota Floyd's 1 lap is good enough for second quickest right now. It is currently on provisional pole, Will Kirk, with the fast time right now, 27:05 on his lone lap. We'll jump over to Justin Michael, who just put a lap on the board, and that will take provisional pole now. One driver, we were talking about the newbies, 7 drivers looking to make their first MaxV CNC Home Designs Truck Series start here tonight. Kyle Stewart, very fast in practice. He has just gone second quickest on the board as we try and hop around and look for a driver on their lap right now. Looks like Trent Drum is out on the track, and Scott Patton is headed down the old front straightaway, new back straightaway here at the Phoenix International Raceway. Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series has been here 3 times. We've had 3 different winners. We averaged about 5 cautions a race, as Scott Patton will put that 46 right where he finished the points last season on the starting grid here on the outside of the front row. Here is Tyler Grenot. That's how we're going to say it here this evening until we are told otherwise, I think. Here's Rob Martin, another newcomer to the series. 26 drivers have posted a qualifying lap here. Rob Martin in the 33 truck is now on the clock. Hello to everybody that's hanging out with us here. Speaking of Nathan Carroll, Alyssa Marshall cheering on Nathan. Michelle Kirk is here cheering on Will Kirk, who is still pretty high up here on the starting grid right now, outside row number 2 provisionally. Lisa Carroll cheering on Nathan Carroll as well. AJ Marshall also cheering on Nathan Carroll. Lots of 63 fans in the house here this evening. Nate the Great cheering on Will Kirk as well. So thanks everybody for stopping by. That lap for Rob Martin, 28th fastest of the 28 timers that we've had. Again, 38 drivers. The Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series will support a full field of 43 trucks, so we're not bumping right now. And we're also not seeing anybody that has not elected to take a time actually be out on track. Looks like problems for CJ McLaughlin, another newcomer to the series. Chris Voiles as well, with a lap scored but no time, which means that they've run afoul of the qualifying standards. More than likely, they either spun out of turn number 2 or hit the wall at turn number 2. That's the one thing we really haven't talked about is the Phoenix International Raceway, especially since this truck got retooled. In the cool track conditions, you would think it'll be all gripped up, but out of turn number 2, it's an ice skating rink.
Yeah, and we mentioned it several times last season, but once this truck starts to go, it's typically pretty difficult to get it to come back. Even at that, it does tend to swap sometimes too. So pretty easy to get up into the wall a little bit, especially at such a unique track like Phoenix.
Definitely a unique track, just a skosh over 1 mile in length. And with qualifying in the books, it will be, no surprise, Justin Michael with his 23rd career pole position in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. That will be leading the field to the green flag here momentarily. Scott Patton will start on the outside pole. Kyle Stewart and Will Kirk on row number 2. It is Dakota Floyd, the reigning series champion, in his title defense here, starting from the 5th position inside of Heath Smith on row number 3. James Lehman was not loving the pace that he had in practice, but he put it P7 on the starting grid here with Justin Ritchie, another one of those drivers to watch who came in midseason. He'll line up on the outside of row number 4. Ryan Nardone, same. Nathan Carroll, same. They are looking for a first full-time bid at a title. They will start on row number 5 here for the series opening. Charging Charlie Widener and Tyler Hessling on row number 6. It's Tyler Grenot and Rob Haynes on the 7th row. Greg Mull and Omar Rodriguez Jr. started in the 16th position. Rod Mitten back there in 17th with another familiar name in his first appearance of the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. That is Rene Garcia here on a Thursday night starting in P18. Row number 10 is the boss man, Kerry Cleaver on the inside. Greg Parmalee lining up to his outside. On row number 11, Billy Bumgarner won last year's season opener at Daytona. Can he do it again here tonight from deep in the field? Parker Donaldson, another driver, making their debut here this evening, starting in 22nd. Peyton Bass, Trent Drum, Matt Rodolasso, Brad Slagle, David Rigsby, Rob Martin, Joshua Fracker, and Jack Watts way back there in the 30th position. It is CJ McLaughlin and Brandon Groover on row number 16. Bill Paradise, Zachary Groover, Chris Sargent, Chris Voiles, Michael Vann, and Gary Offit. 38 drivers ready to go at the 1 mile Phoenix International Raceway for the first round of Season 2 of 2025. It's the Wildish 150 for Brad Slagle and for Nathan Carroll. They get the naming rights for the season opener here this evening. As we'll take a look at the track conditions. Mr. Joshua Motichek, what do you have to offer up for us for strategy notes and maybe a word of advice for some of these drivers who are feeling the nerves in the pit of their stomach here ahead of a new season?
I mean, yeah, nerves are on another level for me personally. If I would be a driver out on track right now. A lot of things carrying over the same from last season. 3 extra sets of tires, no faster pairs. The incident limits still sit at a 16x as a drive-through penalty, and a 21x will be a disqualification. Still 70% fuel, should put the fuel window around lap 45. 150 laps is the full distance tonight, but the change for this season is the stage brake will be at 30% instead of 25, so that will put us on lap 45 crossing the line for the stage brake.
Side by side they go into turns 3 and 4. 150 laps on the board, and our season opener for the final season of Max Speed Truck Racing here on turn 200 is green. Teammates Michael and Patton lead the field through the dogleg, headed into turn number 1. They are 3 wide for 5th on back. Dakota Floyd in the middle trying to pull ahead. As for the lead, it is Michael and Patton side by side down the backstretch.
Good start for Lehman there towards the better half of the top 10. He is up into 7th now, or up into 6th rather, making that move on Heath Smith.
For the lead, Patton still hanging tough. He led at the stripe. Oh, as we hear sliding further back in a truck in the wall, that looks to be Omar Rodriguez Jr. We are staying green, but he will tumble through the running order here, now outside of the top 30. Big blink there for Scott Patton as well. He fell through the running order, but has resumed the battle for the lead. Michael might have got him at the line, but these two not letting up, as now the caution flag will fly. Looking for an issue. There are kind of trucks all over the place. We've had issues that have not triggered the caution, so not sure what the cause is here. But I mean, there have been plenty of things that maybe you should have brought out the caution. So we'll go in search for that. As we're under caution here on lap number 4. We're just going to start clicking around here. Oh, and there is a truck around. And it's hard to tell because they won't let me stay on a camera. It might have been Gary Offit. No, it was not Gary Offit. It was Omar Rodriguez again. Who had already picked up damage from tagging the wall the first time. And the truck disappears, but rest assured that would be the cause of the caution. I would have thought with him slowing up dramatically there on the wall in the first place, the first time, that would have triggered the caution, but that was seemingly not the case. Regardless, Phoenix, no matter the series, truck racing here on the channel has tended to err on the side of cautions. We average a little over 6 here in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series in our 3 past appearances. Venom Truck Series, last time they were here, it was a little messy, to say the least. Phoenix has that reputation. It's just a low grip, sand-blasted surface out in the middle of the desert. Usually pretty hot. Track conditions pretty generous right now, but I mean, a lot of drivers having some struggles here early on with the handle on their trucks.
Yeah, I know that these shorter tracks with low grip, usually not a great combination for keeping the rear end underneath it.
So Scott Patton was the leader at the time of the caution. Could not have been by more than a couple inches. He and Justin Michael are side by side. Patton electing the inside here for the restart. With the pole sitter now, Justin Michael to his outside. Remember, we're chasing lap 45 for the stage caution. Will Kirk on the inside of row number 2 with Kyle Stewart to his outside. Dakota Floyd and James Lehman on row number 3. Maybe Lehman just needed the lights to go down to find a little speed in this truck. He seems to have found the handle up to this point, coming to lap number 7 this time. To the restart zone. Patton on the power. We're back to it.
Great restart for Patton. Will Kirk almost going to get the drive up to the door of the 97 truck. Not able to do it. They fan out.
Floyd and Lehman a little crossed up as they are wrecking behind. That is Greg Mall in the wall. Drivers scattering everywhere. David Rigsby, Matt Rodolasso, Trent Drum, all getting a piece of it. I think Nathan Carroll was involved in that one as well. Certainly was in the vicinity of it. And that will put us right back under the caution for the second time. It's one thing. Cautions breeding cautions. That is certainly a thing here. So the first driver I got a notification for was Nathan Carroll. Carroll is already out of the throttle here. Oh, and you can see he's going to get checked up here. He's got to run. Charlie Widener, slams on the brakes. Nothing that Carroll or Greg Mall can do. And it is just on from there. Pinball. Greg Parmalee gets a big shot there. We'll back this up and get a look at it from the kickpot cam here of the 63 of the Wildish Racing Ventures number 63. I'll show you how quickly this happens. A couple of hard shots there. That one might be the one that does him in. I think everything else might have been repairable up to that point. So let's travel a little bit further back here for this one now. This is with Greg Parmalee. He's the first one to really wallop the 63 of Carroll. Sends Rodolasso around. That puts him into Rob Martin there. Good heads-up driving from the 83. Don't think David Rigsby will have gotten much damage out of that, but certainly straight to the pits for the 04. And a lot of repairs to be done there. A few drivers on and off pit road under this caution, as you could imagine. As we say hello to Robin in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Quick caution here at Phoenix. That is not a surprise.
Short tracks and cautions go hand in hand.
I don't know. If you're Scott Patton right now, are you cheering on these cautions to just try and log laps here, or are you wanting to get a little green flag running in?
It depends on my pace. Off of that jump on the initial start, it was neck and neck. They were right even at it. Nobody showed really better pace than the other. So I'm kind of leaning more towards the cautions because, you have control of the restarts. You can get the jump where you need it and get out by yourself. So that's kind of where I would lean. You get your free reign of when you want to pit. You have the stage break caution coming on lap 45. So I'm for the caution game.
Mike Milfeld hanging out in the chat, cheering on the fellow Highline drivers. Hope to have you back on track here soon, partner. Back underway here. Second restart of the night. Top line a little checked up there. See him start to fan out through the field. Kirk and Stewart going side by side here for third. Dakota Floyd getting the best of James Lehman to move up to fifth. For the lead, here's Michael with a dive underneath of Patton. Stewart there getting loose and backing right back into the clutches of now Dakota Floyd and Will Kirk.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd winning that championship by a relatively close margin. He's got to be already thinking that points game to get as much as he can.
Door to door here for third and for the lead. Kirk prevails for third momentarily, as these two just have not left each other's side all race long. Caution is out. As Rene Garcia is slowing, so is Brandon Groover. Don't see anybody outright around, however, but that will put us under the caution very quickly here on lap 13 for the third time. So we'll see if we can go back and see. Oh, yeah, Rod Mitten. Big-time contact there with Rene Garcia headed into turn number 3. Oh, and Mitten going to drive it. It's so easy to do there in turn number 3. Just drives it in a little bit too hard. You're a half lane higher, losing the nose of that truck, and nothing he could do to keep it out of the left rear quarter panel of Rene Garcia at that point. Garcia, great save. He was already slowing down for the turn, but I mean, you could easily send that straight packing into the outside wall there with the tailgate. And, really want aerodynamic stability here, even on a shorter track. So great job by Rene Garcia to not make that any worse than it could have been. And again, here in the Max 3 CNC Home Design Truck Series, cautions automatically triggered. The only time they will throw a manual caution will be for the stage break on lap 45. There are no penalties cleared under any circumstances. It's bit every single driver, whether you're a league admin or just another driver in the league, if there is such a thing. No penalties cleared. No cautions for incident thrown unless iRacing throws it itself. And in cases like that, you kind of wish iRacing would relinquish the grasp on the yellow flag. We could have gone on. I'm sure Rene Garcia was happy to see it.
Oh, very. Yeah, pretty curious how that one was a caution, but the original contact with Rodriguez was not.
No, certainly. So Garcia blends back in the 20th position. A couple of drivers using this opportunity to continue to get damage fixed. There's Nathan Carroll. Great looking truck. Sorry that it's had to be on air the way that it has up to this point. But he is now in the lucky dog position in 34th. So we'll continue to monitor that. As what do you know, it's Patton and Michael side by side for the lead. What else is new? We're guaranteed another caution in 30 laps. I'm sure the drivers towards the front of this field are hoping to be able to run this out. But we will see. Already working our third restart of the race. Patton fires down low. We're back underway.
Patton with a good getaway yet again. Dakota Floyd with a great jump there on the bottom. Going to pull up alongside Stewart.
Using the dog leg to jockey for position here. 2 and 3 wide into turn number 1. Man, tight quarters there. Tyler Hessler. Traffic all over him. Patton with the outright lead for maybe the first time this evening.
Still 3 wide further back. Hessling and Nardone.
Almost 4 wide, but Charlie Widener dropping back in there. Haynes slapping the wall. This driver's just inside the top 10 trying to get it settled. There's Justin Ritchie nearly making contact with James Lehman in the tricky turn number 3. Caution is out once again. Not quite sure. Wasn't notified about anything.
Looks like a little slide from Parker Donaldson across the line.
Maybe a problem for Gary Offit as well, but of course it tells me that, and then it won't show it to me. So we'll see if we can. I have no idea. The old software not being very kind to me here. Let's just ride Parker Donaldson here for a couple of laps. Maybe we can see something. This gives you a good idea anyway as we ride here. What these drivers further back, all this turbulent, dirty air are dealing with.
It's no fun.
And he got help from Zachary Groover. And again, I hate to say it, that just does not need to be a caution. The iRacing has got its threshold incredibly low. That was a great save by Donaldson. I'm sure he's happy that the caution came out, but there are 36 other drivers on the track that are not happy to see that.
Yeah, iRacing definitely a tad bit trigger happy tonight.
Yeah, it's just some tracks, for some reason, they just have it out for green flag racing. And all it does is bunch everybody up and give them the opportunity to do it for realsies, and we know that they can. For anybody that remembers back to the championship race of 2023, you will remember the pileup to end all pileups here at the Phoenix International Raceway. Out of turn number 2, took out over half the field. It took out half of the championship 4. It helped Greg Mall along quite nicely to a championship victory. Mall no longer the reigning series champion, involved in the first caution earlier tonight, so I guess that makes up for it. Back at 28.
Your current reigning champion, Floyd, is now up to the 4th position.
Yes, he is. Will Kirk holding strong in 3rd, and Patton and Michael now right back to side by side. A little checking up there in the mid-pack as it's our 4th restart of the race here on lap 22.
Will Kirk with a fantastic getaway, gonna challenge for the lead down into 2.
Kirk has got 2nd, but can he get the lead? A little door-to-door, nearly contact there. Kirk wants this top spot. Oh, is Kyle Stewart out of shape, saves it, but it's going to cost him a few spots. But he'll get to keep on keeping on here from P6. Meanwhile, Kirk and Patton still side by side for the lead.
3 wide further back. Rob Haynes looks to split the middle.
Watching from the Stone River Outfitters Chevy Silverado, Scott Patton, your race leader.
Charlie Widener out of shape, out of the corner down the straightaway.
What is sadly our longest green flag run of the night this far. At what point do you not want to cut the dog leg here?
Honestly, that's a great question. I have never raced at Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So this is definitely a first for me. I would argue probably pretty quick. I mean, the more wear you get on your tires, the more that little bump and shimmy down off of the track surface is going to upset and possibly give you a chance to get a little free.
Yeah, I don't think the TV does it justice here. The transition. It follows Will Kirk here as he goes onto the flat, if he does go onto the flat this time. Really, I mean, look how jarring that is.
you can watch how much that steering wheel wiggles off of center.
And you know, with the amount of cautions that we've had, they've put heat cycles on the tires, but not really that much wear. So maybe these guys are just looking to push hard. They know they can make it now to the stage break on fuel. So maybe just looking to abuse these tires just a little bit. Single file most of the way through the top 10, and in fact the first battle for position on track right now is a three-way battle here for 12th. Brian Nardone, Jack Watson, Tyler Hesseling is just trying to get settled into the groove, and now the caution is out. That was my mistake, I guess. Still not seeing for why we are under the caution. But if it's anything like the last three cautions, it won't be for much. Let's just poke around here, see if we can see. Oh, there's a truck out of shape up the road there. Might have been Parker Donaldson again. And it was
Looks like Chris Sargent.
okay.
Sargent and Slagle.
And what do you know? Sargent sideways. I mean, never even below half speed. In what world is that a caution?
Doesn't even tag the wall.
No. Great save. Awesome save by Chris Sargent. That is not a caution. This is not railing against the Max Bay admin team. This is directed right at iRacing. We're on the 3 of 5 now, and no world is that a caution.
I think iRacing may receive a strongly worded letter from James Lehman after this race.
And we sing iRacing's praises all the time here on the channel. They do great work. This is not exemplary of that. But what this is doing is allowing drivers that were caught up in the first couple of real cautions with big-time damage to get back onto the lead lap and afford them plenty of opportunity to get their trucks as fixed as possible. I mean, it's a 1 mile lap here, and the pit lane is a little bit shorter than the circumference of the actual track. So even with it being as short of a track as it is, you still have a decent chunk of time to get damage fixed on the truck. The problem is some of these hits were incredibly hard, and a lot of these drivers will have minutes upon minutes of damage to fix to get it even passable for speed.
Yeah, a couple of those trucks. Nathan Carroll, notably, still a lap down. He will be eligible next time for the Lucky Dog.
Yeah, so he is 1 lap down. Greg Parmalee is 2 laps down. Omar Rodriguez is 3 laps down. Matt Rodolasso, you saw there taking the Lucky Dog. He is now back on the lead lap, which will put him back in the 33rd position. As Scott Patton, with some connection issues, is throwing a wrench in things at the front of this field. Dakota Floyd, similar connection issues, is slow on the top of the track and is allowing the entire field to go past here. So a little bit of chaos and confusion here on the restart. Nonetheless, Patton is leading. Michael now gunning for the top spot.
Yeah, Michael definitely taking advantage of the chaos on that restart.
Will Kirk in 3rd, James Lehman in 4th, and Charlie Widener up to P5 from the 11th starting spot. As we're throwing up dust and throwing up sparks on the outside wall here. Trying to give her all she's got. Rod Mitten, Justin Ritchie door to door. As Mitten now with a connection issue, and he may be gone. Nope, he's back. They usually don't come back from big blinks like that. He finds himself on the outside of 3 wide with Tyler Hesseling, who continually seems to be getting stuck in the middle of these 3 wide situations.
Looks like Kyle Stewart.
Yeah.
I'm curious if maybe he got a passing under yellow black flag when Dakota Floyd dropped out.
Oh, he very well may have, because Floyd went to the outside line. And in my mind, that would mean that he would not be the only one. And like I just explained a minute ago, they do not clear black flags for anybody. That's unfortunate. But that really sucks. That's going to be an uphill battle for Stewart to try and climb out of that hole. But if he can hang on for another few laps here, the stage break is coming up, and that is Stewart blending right into the leaders that we know he has the pace to keep up with. And he is going to race these two hard and making contact there with Justin Michael. Really trying to force the issue here. Stewart is only one lap down by my count.
Yeah, I think if Stewart gets back around Patton here and can stay there.
He is working him over. He wants to get back on the lead lap the hard way.
If he can stay there, he will avoid having to take the lucky dog when the stage caution comes out.
You talk about elbows out. That is some sharp pointers there.
Definitely not what Patton wanted to see, though.
No. Rob Haynes is down pit road. And actually, I think he just clipped the exit line, taking the dog leg. So he did come down pit road. Jump back a little bit. Heath Smith pressuring Charlie Widener. Smith trying to get into the top 5. And then Tyler Hensling and Justin Ritchie side by side for P9. Top 10 get stage points. It'll break the 38-way tie for the points lead that we've got over just a couple laps' time. How about Jack Watts? Up to 11th. He is plus 19 on the race. Big time stuff. Jack Watts. Little Birdie has told me he might be going Venom Truck Series racing here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely saw that 77 truck in one or two of those recruitment races, so super stoked to run some races with him.
Watts really found his footing in the chase to close out last season. Lucky for him, that was only 2 weeks ago. He's bringing plenty of momentum with him here into season number 2 of the year. Back up front, Justin Michael is looking for the race lead in the first stage win of the new season. As they have let Kyle Stewart check out. 4 to go until we get that stage caution. Pat nestled up against the wall there. Will Kirk is going to have his hands full here with James Lehman as well for third. Lehman is making that move.
Looking to the inside, as flat as this track is, it's really difficult to carry some of that momentum around on up the racetrack surface.
Lehman to third. He's got the battle for the stage win right in his crosshairs. If he can make up half a second, he can put himself right in the mix. 2 laps to go in the stage. He's going to have to get there real fast. Final lap of the stage on the board this time. Patton leading Michael.
Mega run.
big dive here. Trying to make it stick. Not going to be able to. Patton should be able to hold on to it if he can hit his mark here into the final 2 turns. Wraps it beautifully down low, and the first stage win of the season will go to Scott Patton, as the caution will fly for the 6th time. I would say our first one not for incident, but we've had about 3 of those already. Justin Michael, James Lehman, Will Kirk, Heath Smith, the top 5. 6th for Charlie Widener, Ryan Nardone in 7th, Justin Ritchie, Ron Mitten, and Jack Watts will take home the stage points. As pits are open, and everybody should be coming this time.
I think we should see everybody except for Nathan Carroll, who would be the lucky dog, onto the lead lap. Looks like Omar Rodriguez also electing to stay out.
So that will get Rodriguez one of his 2 laps back, I believe. 2 or 3. It's not been the debut that Rodriguez Jr. has been hoping for up to this point. Plenty of time to reverse that, though, as Patton is out. Justin Michael playing some games there from the looks of it. Let James Lehman get out in 2nd, and Michael will take 3rd. Either that or stall the truck. Either way, it looked to me like he let Lehman go. Kirk out 4th, Widener 5th, Smith Nardone up to 7th now. Mitten, Ritchie, and Rene Garcia into the top 10.
Yeah, looking back at it, it did kind of look like he put the binders on there. Curious to know if he wanted to start behind Patton instead of next to him.
It would be a first for him tonight. He's lined up side by side with him every single restart, including the initial start of the race. And now for something completely different. I'll line up behind him. As Patton sticks tried and true to the bottom here. Talking about drivers that are looking for a rebound season. You look at the stat line from Will Kirk. I know he was disappointed with how his season turned out, especially in the final point standings. But, man, the stat line does not do a driver of his talent any justice. This season is off to a great start. I'm sure he is hoping just to keep the ball rolling. But a great night thus far is yet to leave the top 5 after a great qualifying run. See what he could do here. On row number 2, Patton and Lehman will bring the field back to the green.
A little bit of shuffling there on that restart. Michael will get a good getaway.
Michael looking to clear for 2nd, and he is underneath Scott Patton a little bit here. Patton still leading him down the back stretches. We've got problems further back. Looks like we're staying green. We're showing a crash there.
Yeah,
and Michael is really, really loose. And the caution is out. And that is Will Kirk. That was locked and loaded jinx there. Charlie Widener is around as well. See how bad the damage is. That is Heath Smith there as well. And Rod Mitten slow, pulling away from the accident scene as well. I mean, you saw Justin Michael, that thing snap out from underneath of him, and you would imagine that everybody else in the dirty air behind him had that same feeling and then some to kick that one off. So here is Will Kirk. And, I mean, already that truck is over-rotating. Rod Mitten, it's coming out from underneath of him as well. No problem for Heath Smith on the handling. But Will Kirk spins right up in front of him, and nowhere for Smith or Charlie Widener to go. Tyler Hesseling threading the needle through there. Let's see what Tyler Hesseling sees in the good old Matt Williamson kickbot cam. Synchronized spinning. There goes Mitten. There goes Kirk. There goes Widener. There's Smith. Hessling gets through it all. He'll net lose positions, but he won't take any damage, and that's, I think, the goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely something fishy happened there, because there was also 2 trucks that spun down into turn 2 just before that.
Smith was committed to the throttle there, and that second wiggle for Kirk put him right in the collision course. So what you're saying, somebody, not naming any names, but maybe a Patton or a Michael or a Lehman hit the oil slick there?
Definitely seems like it.
Well, we'll see if we could get a comment on that after the race. That's a hot start to the season. But, you know, that's at least a real incident that has happened to bring out the 7th caution here, much to the detriment of 3 of the drivers that were running inside the top 10 there. Rod Mitten as well, so I guess that makes 4. But that is not what Kirk, Widener, Smith, or Mitten needed there. Smith still on pit road. The other 3 are making their way back out. There's something else happening as well further back on that restart. It might have involved Brad Slagle. Slagle spent an extended bid on pit road here. I'm going to try and find it, but I'm going to have to make it quick. I don't think I'm going to be able to, unfortunately. So we're definitely up for the restart.
From the looks of it, it looks like Kyle Stewart and Brad Slagle both had similar incidents where they just synchronized spinning down into turn 2.
Yeah, and we did catch a piece of it there. That was Stewart. Rodriguez into Stewart. Brad Slagle, Chris Sargent getting involved. So we'll come back to the green here, lap 54. Shout out to Ike575. Saw you comment earlier. Appreciate it. Nathan Carroll back on the lead lap at 26th after a rough start to his race. Sky's the limit inside of 100 to go.
Good runs for Rene Garcia from 18th to 5th now.
With a spin in the middle.
Yeah.
So Garcia inside the top 5. Side by side here with Ryan Nardone, whose name we called out a lot more as the season went on earlier this year. Here's Justin Michael now with a look for the lead as a couple of drivers getting into the wall further back, and one goes spinning. It was Rod Mitten again. We're still green. And Patton's still the leader across the stripe, taking the double 5s. And he's got the lead outright into turn 1. Crack of the wall there for Nardone, who's looking for a move here to the inside of Lehman, who himself is trying to find a way around the outside of Justin Michael for second. Drivers still finding their way into the wall down the backstretch, trying to get everything they can out of turn number 2. As Michael and Lehman side by side and nearly making contact there as they send it down onto the flat of the dog leg.
Very tight racing.
Justin Ritchie prevailing. He's up to 5th. Still side by side for second. Lehman loose. We'll tuck in line here at the wildish 150. Michael Van is coming down pit road. Unscheduled stop here on lap 57. As the top 4 all nestled together. Justin Ritchie in 5th. Jack Watson 6th. CJ McLaughlin up to 7th from deep in the field. He and Watts both plus 24 on the day.
A couple more guys into the wall hard.
I think one of them might have been Rene Garcia. Garcia's dropped down to 9th after restarting inside the top 5. Justin Michael, I would imagine, trying to take it easy here. Hoping to settle in for a long run, but James Lehman is not making it very easy to do that here. Might have been CJ McLaughlin getting the wall down the backstretch.
Seen a couple of different lines forming as Nardone goes to look underneath Lehman.
That's the great thing about Phoenix. If you can settle in for a long run, any two lines are the same here. When it kind of looks to follow the leader here through 3 and 4, but he's a few inches one direction or another, and you can see Nardone not taking the dog leg. She's staying on the actual purpose-built racing surface there.
Looks like it might have cost him a little bit of gap to Lehman.
Make up for it with a little bit more speed, in theory anyway, on intro. As McLaughlin and Craig Mall side by side for 7th. Mall involved in our first caution of the night. We'll see what 8 cautions worth of repairs get you speed-wise. Get you back into the top 10. The 7 is in P7. Lehman putting some separation back to Nardone, and he and Michael both closing back in on the race leader, Scott Patton, who has led just about every lap thus far, as Lehman tickling the wall there just a bit.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how the fuel and tire strategy comes into play. Not really an even breakup on fuel strategy. So definitely going to have to do a little bit of saving, a little bit of pit cycling. See where these drivers end up. Next pit stop should be looking somewhere around lap 90 or so. Lehman and Michael still neck and neck. Few different lines through turn 1. Lehman looks underneath Michael. Not able to get it done.
Just keeps having those little peaks there. I mean, Lehman always one to push hard, and he is definitely trying to work out a way to get through on Justin Michael. And what's got to be promising for both of them is that in all of their little nip and tuck battling here, they are not letting Scott Patton check out from the rest of the field. Patton still within a few car lengths and has not been able to pull away.
Yeah, definitely not something that was on Patton's bucket list for tonight.
No. We got Zach in the chat cheering on Nathan Carroll. Carroll up to the 21st position as they run. I believe also cheering on Parker Donaldson, CJ McLaughlin. CJ in 8th right now. Donaldson with big time damage in an earlier crash right now, running in 25th, but he is at least back on the lead line. Appreciate anybody that's hanging out with us here for our season opener. 2025 Season 2 of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Running the Tricky Triangle next week at Pocono. Catch us at the new start time of 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday night, with a couple of exceptions up until December. And we will close up shop afterwards.
Brandon Groover up from 32nd inside of the top 10 now. Looking to track down Tyler Hessling.
Groover, a lot like a Jack Watts type driver, slowly but surely always finds his way towards the front of the field. Made the chase in truck 200. Just very quietly consistent. Not at all be surprised to see him continue to grind his way up towards the top 5 by the end of this one if we stay green.
Yeah, definitely a couple of silent assassins always there at the end.
Justin Michael had to go there. Rolls out of it. If Patton is maybe trying to conserve some tire, then he might be okay. Justin Michael is usually the one to do that, to lay back and wait until later in the run to pounce. Patton is definitely, his pace has been more reserved, whether or not that's just because Michael is faster or if Patton is doing a good job of conserving. We will find out. It's been 0.3 of a second, basically, since the drop of the green on this restart.
Been pretty even.
Brandon Gruber to the inside of Tyler Hesseling, trying to pick up ninth. We're talking about guys that you're looking forward to seeing have a full season and have a full crack at a championship, or at least a chase berth here in Max V this season. That's Tyler Hesseling for me. 7 starts last season. Really had some good stuff going there. Podium at Lime Rock Park. Hesseling now will drop back to the 10th position. Brandon Gruber up to P9.
I just like those trucks.
Yeah.
Him and Nardone, two very beautiful trucks.
Band Motorsports 1, 2, 3 as they run. There is Ryan Nardone in 4th. Justin Ritchie is closing in on Nardone, however. Ritchie, another one of those guys looking to have a full slate ahead of him to try and go for the chip. Patton in the lap traffic. Matt Ronald also damaged from a couple of different incidents. Should stay to the top side of the track. Maybe more of a problem here for Justin Michael. As he has full beans on exit there. Not able to ride it out quite as nicely as he was hoping to.
Yeah, definitely a little perk for Lehman as he was able to hang on to the draft. He's gonna look to the inside as they go through the dogleg. Oh, and Michael into the wall ever so slightly.
And they're trying to wrap it down low. Michael, good drive there from the middle. Even if he is a little bit loose, he's still able to hang on to second. Lap 75 complete at the stripe. Slow start, but we're halfway home.
And that little squiggle there was definitely something that Scott Patton wanted to see. Looking at about a half a second lead there, 3/10 now.
Lehman not done yet, as the hot traffic is going to get thicker and thicker for your race leaders. Next up will be Ron Mitten. And we think about 10 to 15 laps away from pit stops. Maybe a little bit longer, but either way, this is one of those tracks where you could very well, if you haven't taken care of your stuff, ignore the fuel number and be looking to set your own tire number. Especially that right rear tire for some of these drivers who have just been wheeling and dealing. They're going to be begging for some rear grip.
Yeah, Justin Michael, notably one who has been just a little bit sideways off the corner a few times. Lehman giving it another look here. Not quite able to get it done. Robert Martin, the next driver to go a lap down.
7 drivers making their debut here tonight. That is Martin. Yet another victim of an early crash. Not much battling going on inside the top 10. We did just have, as you can see, Justin Michael absolutely dirt track that thing in a turn 4. Tyler Greno just did make a pass on Tyler Hesseling to move into the top 10. Greno, another driver who is making their debut here this evening. Jack Watts still the hard charger right now, plus 24. McLaughlin and Brandon Groover, plus 23 in the 8th and 9th positions, respectively. So they've had charges through the field. Zachary Groover also plus 20 up to the 14th spot. So both of the Groover brothers racing entries have been rocking and rolling here. There you can see Heath Smith. He'll be awfully disappointed with how this race has started out after hitting the inside wall there on that last caution from inside the top 5. Smith now 1 lap down. After that last caution, Will Kirk is in the 19th position. Charlie Widener is outside of the, actually he's in 17th, but he's looking like he's having some connectivity issues, so he's sort of bouncing around the running order right now. Nathan Carroll riding in 16th. It's been a decent recovery for driver 63 thus far. Give him a little bit of TV time since he sponsored the race here tonight with Brad Slagle. Slagle's back out on track, but he's a couple laps down with some damage in the 52 truck. As really looking like Justin Michael's starting to have some big-time handling issues.
Oh, Brad Slagle head on into the wall and then the dog leg.
Well, that'll do it. And the caution is out. Already towed back to the pits. I was just about to put him on camera, and that would have been a real apropos. Let's take a look at it here. He's underneath of Will Kirk. I don't think Kirk is going to factor into this, though. Slagle hits the flat of the dog leg, and that just sends him hurling into the outside wall. And we are back under caution at a very interesting time here on lap 84. I would imagine pretty much everybody's coming down pit road. That was great timing for Heath Smith, who should get the lucky dog here. Looks like Rob Haynes is staying out. So Haynes going to roll the dice. But everybody else is down pit road.
At this point in the race, I would probably only come down for fuel. I don't even know if I would take some tires. I mean, I know the tires are going to be dead, but still a pretty good ways to go. We're barely past the halfway point.
Jack's up on the right and left sides for Patton and for Michael. Race off, I think, goes to Patton. If by an inch or two, Michael still very well could have got it. As they get back up to speed, though, down the backstretch, it does look like it's Patton's. Michael out second, Lehman out third, Nardone out fourth. Jack Watts will roll out fifth. Justin Ritchie sixth, Greg Mullins seventh. Tyler Greno will pick up a couple of spots here, up to eighth. Brandon Groover to ninth. Tyler Hessling now is out 10th, but will restart 11th because Rob Haynes did not come down this time either. So he is going to pace the field. And, boy, I don't know. I definitely would have come down for tires here. It's really the worst part, other than having really, really old tires, is having very, very new tires. So I get the trepidation here. And certainly if it can play out in Rob Haynes' favor, he's going to have a massive advantage towards the end of this race with an extra set of tires in the box. If we start to have some late cautions stack up, Haynes could be sitting here pretty, but he's got to survive this restart. And honestly, that is a big if. Not because of Rob Haynes' inability here. He certainly doesn't have any of that. 3 times the winner of the Max V CNC Home Design Truck Series. This is just a tough spot to be in. You got 25 drivers on the lead lap, and 24 of them have bolted on 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods.
A bad race gone worse for Nathan Carroll. Do believe he got a speeding penalty coming out of the pits.
Well, he'll have to try and do all that work over again. Green flag is out, and you can see already Haynes is under fire. 3 wide for the lead. Patton on the wall, Michael in the middle. They're both going to get past Haynes, and Justin Michael slides up to the lead. Patton looking underneath for a crossover. But can't get it done. Justin Michael is on point. Lane's just getting eaten up here.
Oh, big into the wall. Ritchie and Lehman.
Cost Ritchie a spot here. Got it on Ryan Nardone. Nardone takes it back. A few drivers into the wall there as well. Down the backstretch. Caution is out.
Caution is out.
Rob Martin with a problem. He is slowed down the backstretch, and that is caution number 9. Already a series record for the track. I won't tell you what the whole series record is because I don't even want to think about it. But any fans of paper clips and hot dogs will know exactly what race I'm talking about. Here's the 33 in Martin. And, you know, that is a caution. Slams the inside wall down the backstretch. Never comes to a complete stop, but at least, you know, there's contact and damage. So that one gets a pass. And I do want to put this out in the ether. Hopefully this is not me drawing any negativity here. But I'm currently in the middle of a thunderstorm after a week of 100-degree plus heat. So if the stream goes bye-bye, you know why. I didn't rage quit because of the cautions. It was because of a thunderstorm. It's a good excuse anyway, right? Is it believable then?
Believable.
Okay, cool.
as similar as our weather has been, you'd think we live near each other.
Mm-hmm. That's the spirit of Illinois, you know? It never really leaves a person. So here comes David Rigsby, I believe, in the 83 truck. Talk about trucks that stand out. We call Venom Truck Series the Painters League on Tuesday night. But, I mean, this is a pretty good Painters League as well. So now Justin Michael will get a crack at being the control car for the first time tonight. On all the restarts that we've had, this is his first go since the start of the race that he won the pole.
Definitely back where he wanted to be for the whole first half of this race.
Nathan Carroll, update for Manny G and anybody else that is here cheering on the 63. You mentioned the speeding penalty earlier. He's back on row number 11 for this restart. Pace truck is off. We're so close to triple digits here in the Wildish 150, and it has been wild. I think Wildish is the perfect moniker for this race thus far. We've had a couple of big ones. We've had about 3 or 4 that really should not have been a caution at all. Working caution number 9. And it's been all Michael Patton and Lehman up to this point. Can anybody else get up here and mix it up for the win? I'm assuming this restart's been waved off for some reason here. This pace truck is back out. That doesn't count as an additional caution, just for the record. But we'll do another lap here. Any thoughts on maybe why?
So I was going back to look here.
Well, we do have Heath Smith slow on the bottom of the track. Didn't seem to trigger a caution this time, but maybe if somebody did something similar, it will have extended this caution by only 1 lap. Smith coming down pit road here. So we'll try it again, coming to lap 93. Michael in control. Patton to his outside, Lehman and Nardone on row 2, Ritchie and Greno on row 3, Watts, Hesseling, Garcia, and Mall, the rest of the top 10. Back to him.
Pretty good restart for Patton there on the outside. Nardone a little slow off the line. He's under fire now from Justin Ritchie. looking to take away that 4th spot. How about Tyler Grenot now up, reaching for that top 5?
We're on board with the 18 truck. As Patton is, you can see him up there down below the apron into turn number 1, looking for the race lead once again. Tucks in line right behind Michael, but Patton is not giving up without a fight here. Trying to get back on point.
Oh, Lehman into the wall hard.
Patton's got good drive out of turn number 4 and might be able to stick with Justin Michael here. Right front to left rear, nearly contact there, but again, Patton pulling in behind.
Man, once again, Lehman using all the track he can.
And some of it that he can. Or that you shouldn't. You should really consider not using that much track.
That pretty bright blue wall does not move.
No, it does not.
Nardone solidified that 4th spot, now looking to track down Lehman and join this battle for the podium.
Yeah, great race from Ryan Nardone here. As Patton now trying to take it to the outside of Michael, who's just about to the inside wall. Here is Lehman now looking for 2nd. These two are tripping each other up, and Lehman and Nardone are looking to take advantage here. If these two could keep at it for another couple laps, Justin Michael might be able to get some separation. We haven't seen anybody pull out more than 0.6 of a second for the race lead this entire night thus far. Michael would like to be the first.
Man, Kyle Stewart involved in an early incident. He is back inside the top 10 now.
Stewart, 2nd fastest in practice, qualified top 5 in his first, Max V. St. Home Design Truck Series race. Yeah, you talk about a roller coaster of a night. Driver 10 back up to 8th, and I'm sure not done there. Neither is James Lehman. Back to it to the inside of Patton for 2nd. Justin Ritchie now in the mix here as well. That 42 truck is a lap down. That's Gary Offit. Ritchie trying to make this a 5-car scrap here for the race lead.
Yeah, top 5 getaway, about a 2nd back to Hessling in the 6th position.
There's Matt Schlosser's input. Yeah, cutting the dog leg on the old Phoenix was death. Appreciate you stopping by. Maybe we'll catch you on track for a couple Thursday nights here. Next week, boys. See if we can get you another podium or win.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see him jump in here for that dirt race either.
No, I would not at all. Michael not check it out. He's got 4/10 back to Patton. That's a little breathing room here.
Breaking into the triple digits now, and this is one of the biggest leads we have seen all race.
We saw Justin Michael towards the middle of our longest run of the night. Start to struggle with the rear of the truck, but that was in dirty air. It's all clean for now in front of the 87. On board with Justin Ritchie here in the 3 truck. Matt Schlosser says he does have his eye on the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we will have a Max V. CNC Home Design Truck Series race against all odds. And it's going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait for that. For anybody that doesn't know, I commentate dirt track racing in real life. You yourself are a dirt track racer in real life. and you will be leaving the booth for one night only to go race at Charlotte. And try and bring honor to this booth because I'm not pulling my weight.
I wouldn't put too much pressure on me.
Well, okay. That's up to you. I just sit up here and make noises. We'll jump back here. Look at this behind Kyle Stewart, who's gotten up to 7th. That is Greno on the outside in the DeWalt 18. And Greg Mall to his inside. CJ McLaughlin right there. Jack Watts, Brandon Groover. 7th to 11th, all really tightly compacted here. Tyler Essling about 3/4 of a second up the road will be Kyle Stewart's next victim, at least he's hoping.
Are they widen or down pit road?
Back up front, Lehman trying to have another go here on Scott Patton, and this is verifiably the biggest lead of the night. 0.8 of a second for Justin Michael, and it continues to grow. Patton has not had an answer for Justin Michael since he got out to the lead. Lead now over a second. As Lehman continues to needle away here and Scott Patton. That lead is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as Patton, first real mistake of the night, into the wall there. Lehman trying to take advantage. Patton again scraping out of turn number 2. And Lehman can slide if he wants, and he will. James Lehman to second. So what is the situation now for these drivers? If we do manage somehow to run this one out green the rest of the way, are we good on fuel? Are we good on tires?
I would argue no to either. I mean, a 45-lap stint only puts us to about lap 130 or so from the last caution. So I'm definitely thinking we're going to be looking at some green flag pit stops here if this thing rolls out.
It's right on board with Justin Michael here. We'll see. Pretty good indicator on whether we are that close on fuel or not is if he is clutching and coasting. That's usually our dead giveaway to know that we're going to be close. Not only is he not clutching and coasting, he's shifting down to third into turn number 1. So I don't think we're going to make it on fuel. So
yeah, I definitely think a little bit more conscious of the tires than we are of the fuel number.
Yeah, Michael now trying to build himself as big of a gap as possible. I would imagine it's a little bit fresh in the memory for Justin Michael back at Auto Club to close out last season. Had a big lead. It was not going to be surmounted. And then Michael blew it onto pit road. Absolutely way too fast. Then overran the commitment line as well into the grass, threw the race away. Not want to do that again and wants plenty of room to play with behind him to ensure that even if he does make a mistake, that it won't cost him this race. There's Brad Slagle in the chat, one of the co-sponsors of the Wildish 150 here this evening. Shame that we can't have you on track. That was a spectacular exit, though, to say the least. Looks like Rene Garcia just had a problem. He was slow, lost a handful of positions. Now he's back to 16th. Keeping our eye on Kyle Stewart, who is reeling in this gap up to Tyler Hesseling for 6th. And he's bringing Greg Mall and Tyler Greno with him.
It looks like Garcia was another victim to getting on the dog leg, just a little bit wonky and getting a little bit squirrely.
So Matt Schlosser cheering for carnage in the dog leg in the old version of Phoenix. It's been plentiful here tonight in the new version of Phoenix as well. People have been treating it like there's a jump there anyway. There kind of has been. Here is Greno down to the inside of Greg Mall, trying to pick off 8th. He might be able to get it done. So the 2 highest running debutantes of the evening are right here together in 7th and 8th. And, you know, a top 10 is a top 10 for Kyle Stewart, but, I mean, you talk about having the odds stacked up against you. I mean, he had to go out and pass Scott Patton heads up to unlap himself to avoid being the lucky dog. That is grit and determination there as Stewart and Greno both into the wall down the backstretch here as they continue to battle.
Yeah, definitely starting to see several drivers having issues getting off of turn 2 down onto that back stretch, getting real free.
So all that to say, it's been a great recovery for Kyle Stewart, no matter where he ends up finishing here in this race. I'm sure he'd like to stay where he is, though. Oh, man. Really close there, and Greno will uproot the 10 and maybe keep the door open here for Greg Mall to try and get through as well. Oh, somebody!
Jack Watts!
That is
into
Jack
the wall
Watts.
hard.
And that is game over for the 77. My goodness, that was just as hard, if not harder, than what Brad Slagle just had for us. Ay caramba, what a shot.
Oh, man.
Here's Watts, who was inside the top 10. And he was already loose turning down the track to try and cut the dog leg there. We'll back that up and try and take a little bit closer look at it.
Man, and as soon as that truck unloaded, it just went straight to the right.
Bam. Here is
Near identical to Brad Slagle earlier in the race to pull out the last caution.
Talk about crack launch device. That's it right there. Jack Watts is done for the night. And everybody down pit road. They'll be good to the end by a few laps. You got to execute here. Michael wins the race off. Patton might have gotten second back. It's awfully close. Lehman was right there. Nardone and Ritchie make up the rest of the top 5, and I do believe Scott Patton got out second. But again, we saw earlier that might be a little gamesmanship from James Lehman as well, not wanting to start on the outside of the front row, assuming that Michael's going to take the bottom here. Oh, Brad feeding us the info there in the chat that he hit harder than Jack into the outside wall. I think you're both in populating Ouchtown right now. I don't think there's any two ways about that. Those are 2 hard hits. But what do you do here? What can you do? If you're Scott Patton, trying desperately to get this lead back. closing stages of our season opener here, season number 2 of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series, the Wildish 150. It's been a wildish night, 10 cautions up to this point, and I'm sure with a lot on the line here, momentum early on in the season, we're not done with the Wildish yet. Back in the air, we're underway. Not a good start there for Patton.
Yeah, Patton's sluggish.
Lehman going to try and take full advantage here and get himself right back to second. He has got it. We got some problems further back in the field. We'll see if the caution comes out. Looks like Kerry Cleaver is towed back to the pits. I think we're going to stay green as Richie and Patton nearly coming together there in their battle for third. Now Richie under fire from Nardone, who's trying to take it back around the outside to get up to fourth once again. But Richie not done with Patton here for third.
And Nardone a little bit free coming off of the final corner. Now, how about his teammate Tyler Hesseling right back into this mix for the top 5?
Brandon Gruber there, a little bit loose in the 7th spot. Tyler Greno going to try and take that position back. As for the lead, here is Lehman. He sends a bomb, and he puts Michael into the wall.
Lehman's going to hang on to it just barely.
Michael will have damage. This whole field is topsy-turvy. Lehman into the inside wall now. Caution's
There's the
out.
caution.
There's problems further back, and that is going to bail out everybody at the front of this field as Lehman sent a dagger in on Justin Michael. That's the 66 of Chris Sargent. Trying to look at the right side of Justin Michael's truck here the best that we can. It doesn't, there's a little bit of damage. I don't know if it's going to be that bad. He might have escaped that one narrowly. And I'm sure that was not Lehman's intention. That move for the lead cost him quite a few positions. He's back to 7th. Let's take a look at that. Because that, I have to say, was pretty wild. And in all that, Tyler Hesseling got up to 3rd. Let's back this up here just a little bit. Lehman sent it. I mean, absolutely sent it. That was a pretty hard shot there for Justin Michael. Back it up one more time and go on board for Lehman as he sets this move up. He knew right away he was in trouble. Great save. Work's not done yet. I mean, almost cleaned down Tyler Hesseling on his way back onto the track. There's contact to the inside wall after Justin Ritchie gets a piece of the action there. Let's see this from Tyler Hesseling's cockpit here. You can hear That's that spatial 8D audio there. Panicked driver hears the Jaws theme playing in his left ear. And we'll back it up just a little bit and take it one more time with Scott Patton. So there's the contact in front of him. Patton thinks he's getting through there. Has to check up a little bit. Little contact with Ritchie's going to slow him down. Then Hesseling is through. By the time the caution comes out, Hesseling is going to just be maybe. No, he's not, because Nardone is in second. I was going to say, I thought Hesseling might have been just a little bit clear, but Nardone, in fact, does have the second position right now. And just for transparency's sake, this is what actually brings out the caution. This is Chris Sargent down low, plows up the track, lifts his nose just a bit. And again, that's a truck stopped and actually making contact with the inside wall. So I'd say that's a good enough reason for a caution if there ever was. So now it's Justin Michael with a whole new cast of characters around him. It is Ryan Nardone to the outside. Tyler Hesseling now will start in third. Scott Patton. Tyler Greno rounds out the top 5. James Lehman in 6th. We're back underway. 22 laps to go. Michael with damage. How much is it going to encumber his chances of victory here? Hesseling and Nardone right back to battling side by side for second.
Doesn't seem to be of issue yet.
Who will come out ahead in this battle for second? It is Nardone.
Patton with the crossover.
Underneath of Tyler Hesseling here. Trying to get back onto the podium if nothing else. Lemon and Greno side by side. And Nardone is making good time here. He is going to make Justin Michael work for it, if nothing else. Here goes Nardone down low for the lead. Michael just trying to survive and fend off the challenge here with the damage. Michael stuck on the outside. Nardone looking for good drive down low at the stripe. Even Stevens. Still no clear advantage into turn number 1. Nardone take it deep.
Keep it right around the bottom. Still side by side. Nardone with a pretty good run off the corner.
Michael still with good momentum right in the middle, riding the top. The side-by-side actions allowing Scott Patton to close back in. 18 laps to go. For the lead here in the season opener at Phoenix. Nardone looking to get clear. Just not enough to slide up in front of the 87. But he's chipping away at it corner by corner. Nardone needs to stay perfect against the best.
Here comes Patton now, slotting himself right behind Nardone. Patton looking to follow through.
Nardone looking to slide up and cover off Michael for the lead, and he has got it. New leader, Ryan Nardone in car number 98. Patton will take second very quickly from Justin Michael. Michael ailing in the 87. James Lehman is back up to 4th. Tyler Hesseling now in 5th. In the top 5 are riding the train around Phoenix. Just to point out as well, Nathan Carroll is back into the top 10. Great recovery from him thus far. Michael not off the struggle bus yet. I'm sure James Lehman is unhappy about the situation. I would imagine Justin Michael probably is as well, but they're going to get right back to battling here for 3rd.
How about CJ McLaughlin? Solidly up 25 positions.
Great night for driver 91 up to this point. One spot away from a top 5 in his debut here with Max Vin. We'll have to reel in Tyler Hesseling, who is hanging lockstep here with Michael and Lehman as they continue to go at it for 3rd.
Oh man, Lehman real free through the corner.
Thinking back to last season's season opener when we had a driver take home their very first victory. Seems to be a theme here in the Max V CNC Home Design Truck Series. Heath Smith did the same in 2024. Nardone, Billy Bumgardner, last season at Daytona. Bumgardner up to 13th. Nardone is in a good spot to do just that. Scott Patton is closing little by little. 12 laps to go. The gap is 0.4 of a second. Michael and Lehman continue to go to battle here. Tyler Hesseling is trying to put himself in a position to get through on both of these drivers. open a door, nose to nose.
Lemon and Michael, definitely no stranger to running right up against each other.
Certainly not. Their teammates and their friends are in the same chat. They always run each other hard. That was a rare mistake from Lehman that jeopardized both of their races. Certainly, it's going to cost Justin Michael seemingly the race win here without some kind of massive change of fortune. Nardone maintaining a 0.4 of a second advantage. Coming to 9 to go at the stripe. Tyler Hessling is fading back towards CJ McLaughlin and Tyler Greno. Two drivers in their first outing with Max V. They want to steal the top 5.
I definitely think this battle here is holding up the rest of the field.
Yes, it is. Lehman, I think, finally going to get clear. Oh, Michael sends him.
Turn him into the wall.
Well, no mistake in that one.
That's definitely going to put a wrench in things.
Yeah. Oh, that is Justin Ritchie and Rene Garcia, who have gotten a piece of it as well. Well, that was surprising. Michael just sends Lehman. That will take him out as well. Nathan Carroll, unbelievable miss there. And then we'll back up and see how Justin Ritchie and Rene Garcia get involved in this. You can see that's 63 Carroll here in the blue and red and yellow. And Ritchie just moving back up the track, I don't think realizes, I mean, Garcia's right in his blind spot there. So, I mean, they don't take any damage, but that is going to cost them just heaps of positions here. And yes, Zach, we are taking a look at it. Don't you worry. Let's go looking for Nathan Carroll here. It's been a wildish kind of night for driver 63. Didn't get any wilder than this. Woo! Full four-wheel lockdown and slide, and he misses the commitment code on pit entry, misses the spin under the caution, and he's up to 7th. So now that puts Tyler Hessling in a podium position here. CJ McLaughlin is up to 4th. Tyler Greno now into the top 5. Brandon Groover in 6th. Nathan Carroll, Kyle Stewart, Billy Bumgarner, and Zachary Groover, the top 10. "12 cautions here tonight in Phoenix. This has been one of the races that we have seen. I mean, a handful of those cautions should not have been cautions at all, but Phoenix still has exacted its revenge on who and on what. For what reason, we don't know. But it has it out for the Max V boys here this evening. There's no doubt about that. But
Boy, you're just ready for Venom to start back, aren't you?
Apparently. Ryan Nardone, though, could be the highlight of the evening. 5 laps from glory, but he'll have to take on Patton Hessling, McLaughlin, Greno, and Groover to do it. Looking for the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone. We're back to green. A little bit of bumping and banging. This driver's trying to get the jump there. Nardone with a great restart. Patton trying to sneak in there to 2nd. And now trying to combo move for the lead. Slow truck pulling onto the track. That's Rob Haynes. Now we'll pull down to the apron.
Oh, McLaughlin.
In the position he wants to be here, down low. Nardone still with a bit of a run, though. That might be the finish we're in store for here. 4 to go. Oh, Nardone is too high there. Patton might be able to get cleared. Nardone will come back with a run to the inside. Is this the place that the 98 wants to be?
Definitely the more ideal spot to be on the inside. You control through the dog leg.
3 to go. If it's going to be a photo finish, though, I think I want the momentum from the top side. But Nardone in a good position to maybe ensure that it won't be a photo finish and try and get it done here down low. Hessling in third, Greno in fourth. Nathan Carroll is up to fifth.
Oh, big
Nardone!
dive for Nardone.
Up the track, and he's out of control. Tyler Hessling will move into second. Now Greno going to make it 3 wide for P2, and Patton has the lead outright with 2 to go.
And Greno up to second.
What?
And here comes Nathan Carroll.
What a run for everybody.
And the
as
caution's
caution's
out.
Well, my iRacing just froze up there for a second, but the caution is out. We're going to go to overtime as Greg Parmalee has an issue. He is pointed backwards in turn number 1. Oh, boy. Overtime. Oh, and that was Rod Mitten coming down off the wall. I think he made pretty good contact with it, and that's a right rear hook on the 04. Oh, boy. Can Max V survive this restart? That's the real question. Oh, my good Lord.
I think we've passed that ish part of the wild-ish 150.
No, I think we're officially wild. I think we are Nick Cannon's wilded out here at Phoenix. Well, I will just take a couple of the factors out of the equation right here. Nobody came down pit road. Everybody is good on fuel, so we don't have to be clutching and coasting here under this caution.
Oh.
As Greno and Hessling looking like they almost made some contact there.
I think they did.
I don't want to jinx it, because I said nice things about Will Kirk earlier, and he immediately was involved in an accident. But I will just point out that Nathan Carroll is back up to fifth. And we'll leave it at that. Also, the Groover brothers, both plus 26 from where they took the green flag some 150 laps ago. Riding in 6th and 8th, respectively. So the Groover brothers racing, having a great start to the season if they can bring it home in 2 miles' time. We're in overtime. The first of 3 attempts. That had been a rule change they snuck in on us, but I think it's 3 attempts.
Should still be 3, yes.
So that leaves us with Scott Patton, the veteran, chasing what would be back-to-back race victories across the seasons with his 13th of his career and his 70th career start with Max V. And he's up against Tyler Greno, who is in his first career start, chasing his first career win. Tyler Hessling, Ryan Nardone on row number 2. It's all to play for. The season opener, the wildish 150. And this ish is just wild at this point. Headed to the restart zone. Patton in control down low. We're back underway.
Patton with a good jump.
McLaughlin down onto the apron there, trying to get good ground going. Patton with the lead outright. Greno and Hessling squabbling here for second. And Hessling maybe pulling ahead in that battle. Patton just wants to see the white flag to make this one official as they're nearly 4 wide at the back of the top 10.
Nathan
That's
Carroll.
Nathan Carroll He's going to straighten
What
it
a
out.
save.
He saves it. It's going to cost him a ton of spots, but the white flag is out. Race is official. I can't believe he
they
saved
were
that.
5 wide across the line further back.
But it's all happening behind Scott Patton, who just needs one more clean set of corners. He'll be off on his way to what seemed to be an improbable victory as they are crashing behind him. That's CJ
Hard hit.
McLaughlin. The checkers are out, and Scott Patton will bring home the season opener here at Phoenix. The Wildish 150 goes to Patton. Tyler Greno in his debut will take the silver. Ryan Nardone rallies back for the bronze. 2 first-time career podium finishers there in second and third. Tyler Hessling with a career-best finish in fourth, and Kyle Stewart will rally for a top 5 as well. Nathan Carroll there in all the calamity slips all the way back to 12th. Puts a damper on what was a fantastic comeback effort for the 63 truck. We'll take a better look at what happened there on the final lap here before we get to our full finishing rundown. But goodness gracious. 13 cautions here tonight. Scott Patton led the most laps, but it looked like he was in serious trouble there for a while. But he's back to victory lane. 2 in a row for Patton. We're going Polish here in Phoenix from the looks of it, although he may just be headed for victory lane. My, oh my. I mean, truly, what a race. More with a question mark than anything, I think. But we'll back this one all the way up to the restart. I mean, Scott Patton, there's not much to see from the front of this field. He checks out. More interested to see what happens to C.J. McLaughlin, who is riding inside the top 10 and found his way around, and what happens to Nathan Carroll here and how he manages to save it. That's McLaughlin down low. Big jump. Try and gain a couple of spots. Carroll spearing 3 wide traffic. Brandon pounds the wall behind Carroll. And Carroll moves down the track, not clear of Kyle Stewart there. Stewart will send him spinning up the track. Incredible save there. Move down to C.J. McLaughlin. He's 4 wide. Justin Ritchie sends it all the way down to the apron to get clear. And Ritchie back up the track. Take McLaughlin with him. That's all she did. Well, I don't quite know what to say. Not often we're totally speechless at the end of the night here. But this was a wild one. It didn't live up to the name Wildish. It was just a wild one. But 1 overtime in the books, and our season opener is in the books here as well. Let's take a look at the full finishing rundown. And as always, got to click a couple extra buttons here just because it's a Thursday night. But Scott Patton will take win number 13 of his career here in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Congrats to him. Tyler Greno, hopefully we'll hear from him in just a moment. And Ryan Nardone will round out the podium. He's already in the waiting room, so we'll hear from him first here momentarily. Career best finish for Tyler Hessling in 4th. Kyle Stewart, likewise, in his first career start here tonight, will take home a P5. Zachary Groover up to 6th. Fantastic run for him. Rene Garcia sneaking back in for a top 10 in his first race with Max V here tonight. Finishes in 7th. Brandon Groover slips back to 8th. Greg Mull and Will Kirk slipping back in there for a top 10 as well. How about that? Billy Bumgardner in 11th. Nathan Carroll in 12th. Chris Sargent, Rob Martin, Trent Drum the top 15th. 16th place for the People's Champ, Bill Paradise. 17th for Justin Michael. Parker Donaldson in 18th. 19th for James Lehman, and Justin Ritchie will finish in 20th after the spin there. C.J. McLaughlin in 21st. Ron Minton 22nd. David Rigsby in the 23rd position. 24th for Omar Rodriguez Jr. Rob Haynes back in 25th. Greg Parmalee 26th. It is Matt Rodolasso in 27th. Gary Offit in 28th. Peyton Bass and Kerry Cleaver round out the top 30. Jack Watson 31st. Definitely in DNF territory from here on out. Charlie Widener 32nd. It is Heath Smith, Brad Slagle, and Michael Van, your top 35. Dakota Floyd, with internet issues, takes him out in 36th. Chris Voiles, very early exit for driver 28 in 37th. And Joshua Fracker never actually took the green flag here this evening. So 37 drivers officially credited with points here in our season opener at the Phoenix International Raceway. He's trying to get the replays now to rack up here and having some difficulty with that for some reason. I think maybe it's going to go now. And it does. All right, so we will go in search of your podium finishers. Hopefully we'll hear from all of them, but we will definitely start with the driver who finished in third here tonight. Ryan Nardone is on the podium in spectacular fashion here this evening at Phoenix. Welcome to the booth, partner. Congrats on the podium. I would imagine you probably were looking for a couple more there at the end.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to see was that caution with 6 or 7 to go. It would have been real nice if that played out, but yeah, I knew I had nothing had we gotten a caution, and sure enough, we ended up getting one and kind of used it all up to stay ahead of Scott, and yeah, it just got way too tight there at the end.
I mean, talk about having a battle wheel to wheel here at Phoenix. I mean, you and Scott were, seemingly pretty equal there in a couple of different lines, but turn 3 just proved to be tricky for everybody all night.
Yeah, you got into it, and I mean, for me at least 3 was super one lane. Like I couldn't, anytime I got put on the high side, I would fall back big time, and so I think he had gotten under me at one point and tried to just stick with him as much as I could, and yeah, trying to stay ahead of him earlier on. I think I just burned my stuff up.
Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the podium here and being up here with us in the booth. I mean, coming out of last season, didn't run a whole season last season, started halfway through. I mean, joining in, getting a podium in your first race of your first full season. I mean, that's got to turn your head towards possibly that points championship as we work our way into the thick of the season.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, last year kind of got my feet wet a little bit, running here and there whenever I could, and kind of knew how a couple of these guys raced. And I mean, there's a lot of good guys throughout this league, and especially tonight. Like I thought, once I got up to about 4th or 5th, that was about where I was going to be, and then everything kind of fell into place a little bit, and really thought we had a good shot. But I think just got to be consistent throughout the season. I mean, there's a wide variety of tracks, road course, dirt track. So just trying to stay up front, stay ahead of everyone, stay with everyone is going to be the biggest thing.
Well, in your limited starts last season, you notched the top 5. You led some laps, and you've already matched that here in round number 1 here this evening. I'd say the sky's the limit for you. Very impressive stuff here all night long, hanging in the top 5 and going for the win there at the end. Congrats on your first career podium here in Max V, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it was good having Tyler Hessling here. I know he's been up here, I think, once or twice last season. So it was good to run with him, as well as other Tyler Granat. It's good to bring him on. I know he's really fast, so going to be good to see what he does. And then just you guys do a good job. I love going back and watching everything. And then James and all the admin. This has been one of my favorite leagues to run in so far, and I keep looking forward to them. And and everyone watching, appreciate everyone watching that show tonight. So it was good.
Absolutely, partner. Here's to the first of many. Looking forward to a full season with you here in the field. Congrats on the podium, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week at Pocono.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Back-to-back wins for this gentleman now. If we get Tyler Grenard in here momentarily, we'll pull him in after we talk to our race winner. But it's Scott Patton back in booth 200 here tonight. What looked to be at one point a locked victory, then improbable, and now it's a certainty because the lap counter has stopped working. But Patton back up here in booth 200 as a race winner once again. Welcome back, partner. What a very interesting race here this evening.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what happened through that whole thing, but yeah, he summed it up nice there. Feeling really good in the first half. Then we let Justin get out in front there, and I don't know that we could really match him on pace, even though we could with the clean air out front in the first half. But once he got out there, it was going to be a hard road to hoe there. But yeah, things happen, and the name of the game is to be there when the checkered flag falls, and that's what we're able to do. And awesome racing with guys like Ryan there tonight, and Tyler, and all those couple new faces up there is really good to see.
I mean, certainly you were right there in the drop zone when Lehman and Michael got together. Probably interesting time to be a fly on the wall in that chat room. But regardless, you're able to get through it seemingly with minimal damage. And you're right. Clean air seemed to be king here this evening as you were able to stretch your legs a little bit at the front of this field. But when Michael got out front there, I mean, he just checked out.
Yeah, for sure. Clean air means probably more than I give it credit for when I was out front. I was kind of Justin made some comments about how terrible he is at Phoenix when he was running second and falling behind, and then no matter what he says, you can never count him out. So obviously he gets out there, gets clean air, makes the jump when he needs to, makes the move perfect and perfectly timed, and gets out there with clean air. So yeah, it means everything at these places, and but at the same time, if you can keep them side by side, and especially know how to work the lines, I think we saw different examples. Both the inside and outside line prevail depending on who you're racing, and that was awesome racing with who was it there for third place there, Ryan, I think, racing Ryan side by side there with a few laps to go. I wish that could have gone to the end more like that, but yeah, that was pretty neat.
Joshua, what you got for your race winner?
Man, congrats on the win and being back up here in the booth with us. I would probably typically expect to ask you what you did in the off season to prepare, but I mean, with such a short off season, I mean, you're really just rolling straight in with the momentum that you brought from the end of the last season. So I mean, walk us through what your thoughts are and rolling into this fall season and the championship.
Yeah, I think we're going in full head of steam. I think, like we saw, right up from the drop of the green flag, we weren't letting up. We let Justin know that he's going to have to race for every inch that he gets this season. He gets no freebies from here on out because you let him get a few of those, and he is unrelentless. So we're going to show him that we can play the same game all the way down to the championship, and we're going to let this one ride and see where we end up at this final season here with you guys. But should be good. And yeah, the off season, I kind of. I didn't do a whole lot. Took a couple weeks off, like you guys probably did, and thought about changing the paint. And I was like, you know what? We threw it in victory lane at the last race, and I don't see what's wrong with it. So let's bring it out again. So 2 for 2 on this one.
2 for 2, loving it. Scott Patton with a swagger here tonight in victory lane after quite the race. Overcomes a lot there towards the end to bring it home. For the first checkered of the season. Trophy hunting back on the menu for you here tonight early, and that is what we love to see. Let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, certainly for the season, we've got the same sponsors here. New England Racing Museum up at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway property. Dr. Dick Bergren's project up there, preserving history, racing history in the Northeast, along with on the quarter panels, Stone River Outfitters, which is a big one for me tonight. Our buddy, my very good buddy of mine, Matt LaVenture, who's the owner of Stone River Outfitters. He's going through a tough time right now, so really trying to support him. And we're thinking of him a lot as we took this checkered flag for him. So I think that's about it. All the Bandit guys and certainly all the effort that you guys put in these broadcasts. Looking forward to where the season takes us this year with a lot of new names up there too. Should be fun.
First of many, I would imagine, here on the season. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on your second Phoenix victory, 13th of your career here in Max Vigo. Celebrate, and we'll hope to talk to you next week at Pocono.
Appreciate it, Tommy and Josh. Looking forward to it.
As we wind down our full-time broadcasting schedule here on Turn 200, of course, with this being our last season of Max V here on the channel, I'm a big stats guy. I'm what you would call a freak in the sheets, the spreadsheets, that is. I've started to put together a lot of the all-time channel statistics. Scott Patton has led the most laps on Turn 200, and you wouldn't have thunk it. But this was career victory number 16 here on the channel. That's his 13th here with Max V. He's picked up a couple in Truck 200 and a couple of exhibition victories as well. But you'll be hearing me rattle off more stats as the year goes along, not just for Max V, but as the channel as at large, because that's the sort of thing that I'm into. Love the numbers. And Patton likes the number 1. He calls it trophy hunting, and he's pulled it off here early at Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I can be a part of some of those stats, whether for the good or for the worse. But what a race! I mean, wild-ish 150. Definitely far exceeded the name. Lots of close battles, lots of rubbing, lots of 3 and even 4 wide at some points. So I mean, Max V definitely never disappointing. Super excited to see what some of these names that we didn't get to see very much last season or at all for that class of rookies. Super excited to see what they can do this season. But yeah, just happy to be back with Max V.
Absolutely are. We've got 19 more weeks of it after this evening, and it's all going to be banger after banger. Next week, it's the Tricky Triangle. We're at Pocono Raceway, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday. Of course, between now and then, Monday night is the Go Squadron Formula Super Series live from Interlagos at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's on Monday night. Wednesday night. Actually, Tuesday is the Venom Pro-Am on. That'll be on the channel, but in an informal capacity. We always POV stream that. So if that is this Tuesday night, then we'll be on air on Tuesday as well. But Wednesday night, definitely we'll have the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. That will be live from WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one before we head to the Tricky Triangle next week. Thanks to everybody that hung out with us here tonight. The Wildish 150 crew and the Wildish Motorsports Ventures team certainly brought the chatters here this evening. Alyssa Marshall, Michelle Kirk, Bailey Marie Motichek, Marilyn Beck, Lisa Carroll, AJ Marshall, and Nate the Great hanging out with us. Mike Milfelt stopped by. So did Robin Motichek. Ike 575. Zach was here. So was Manny G. Matt Schlosser stopped by. So did Brad Slagle. A little bit too early. But appreciate Brad hanging out with us here this evening. And hopping in the chat here late, Daniel Carroll, Lisa Carroll, Nathan Carroll as well. And pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Rob Martin. You got a little bit of TV time here tonight, but I'm sure it was probably not the TV time you were looking forward to. So we'll try and get you some cleaner air here in the next 19 weeks. But appreciate you stopping by here in the chat. Appreciate anybody that was hanging out with us here tonight, whether you dropped us a chat or not. They greatly appreciate it. Thank you to the Max V admin team, and we'll have their work cut out for them here this evening after the Wildish 150 runs into overtime with 13 cautions on the board. It's quite the start to the season here in 2025 Season 2 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Thank you to CNC Home Designs in Central Florida. If you're looking for a custom home to be built, hit up Kerry Cleaver. He knows the ways, and he will get you hooked up. Appreciate their continued support here for the final season of Max V Truck Racing on Turn 200. On behalf of my partner, Mr. Joshua Motichek, until we meet again here from Phoenix International Raceway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Scott Patton, who is on the board early here with trophy hunting in season number 2 of 2025. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.